guys can see, we're having a conversation. It's a BTS, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get my guests acclimated because, you know, some people, they just can't get acclimated. But we're not going to do that right now. But first of all, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the show. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. Your boy DJ KO, Culturally Distinct Podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate all the love, all the DMs, all the information that you guys give us, man. I thank you guys. We're going to keep doing this thing. I got some guests that's coming up in the future. I got some guests coming on right now. I got things going on right now that's beautiful. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, 605 Drink ALP. Shout out to those guys. Make sure if you guys are experiencing a hot summer day. This is my ad, right? Hot summer day. I got it. You know, if you're especially in the South, in Texas, it's 105 degrees, and you need a fresh beverage, margarita, a Tom Collins, just a sweet drink. You know what I'm saying, with a little buzz, because got a little infusion in it, little cannabis. By itself. Yes. Okay. Got a little infusion in it, so 605 is where to get it at. So if you want a buzz, you could be on a date, you could be aware of her. Make sure you get some 605. Also, I like to give a shout out to my partners, Red Core Universe. They're making Culturally Distinct International. We're now on Tubi. We're now on Hulu and Roku. So, yeah.
That's a clap. That's a clap for that one. That's big time. Oh, Lord. As you make it a mess.
Oh, it's all right. Okay. There must be a God somewhere. So, I appreciate you guys for all the love, support, and we're going to keep growing. So now, in saying all that, you hear this person in the background, and you've probably seen this individual in the city limits somewhere selling some property. And she looked over the contractors, over everybody, heard her voice. And yes, it was her. She is her. Yes. She is her. Everybody, welcome to the show, Miss DeAnna Green.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you.
Boss Chicks of Houston.
That's right. Hey. Boss Chicks International. So we have rebranded. So the plan is to be global, baby. Have these footprints all over this entire world.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. How you been?
I'm good. I'm doing very, very well. This year has been a much better year all the way around, personal and professional. So I have no complaints.
Also, you know, last time you was up here, we was talking about Boss Chicks of Houston, or Boss Chicks International. What is it before Boss Chicks of International? And now I want to talk, because a lot of people really don't know what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They know you pub women, you know, you hype women up, you make women, you know, you collab with women, and you have a women community. But a lot of people don't really know what you do. So that's why I wanted to get in. They didn't know that she was like a big time real estate person here.
Yeah. You know so I'm trying to make an impact here in Houston. I've been here now for 15 years. 2008 is when we moved out here. And slow journey, but now it's, you know, all of the fruits of my labor certainly paying off. Our businesses are making an impact, doing a lot for the community, you know, connecting with a lot of community officials to really try to bring about some change, getting into affordable housing development. Again, just, you know, we know that Houston is our home. This is where our roots are now. Right. So I keep saying that when the good Lord calls me home, I do not want to have a to-do list. I want everything on my to-do list to be checked off, and I do want to make sure that my legacy, not just with my children, but just in my community, was impactful.
That's wonderful. So I want to start the journey off, right? Because, you know, I know you're amped and you're ready to go. You know, the starting
but
mark,
listen, this is second time around for Adam and I, okay? So first time, you know, I was a little suspect of Adam, but he been persistent. So I said, I'm going to come back. We're going to try this again.
Yeah, everybody deserves a second chance.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about the journey, right? The journey of your profession in real estate. How did it even start?
So 25 plus years ago, I fell into it through property management. I lived at a particular community, very small community. Right after I got out of high school, I was a single mom at that time. I would go in and pay my rent, and the owners reached out and said, hey, we've got a bookkeeping position, because I actually thought my goal was going to be go more into accounting. I'm a numbers person. I like everything that goes along with making money and making it make sense. And so I took the bookkeeping, but I took it mainly because one of the biggest perks at that time that property management would give you free rent.
Okay.
And as a single mom and coming right out of high school and still trying to figure out was I going to do college and all of that, that was my biggest expense. So I said, great. I already knew it was like 16 units. I already knew everybody that lived there anyway, so it made sense. And then I naturally went straight from bookkeeper to property manager. That was before they had all the other middle steps in between. And started managing 5 properties, moved up to 8. The owner was very, one of the things I love was he took me under his wing and literally taught me everything about property management, from old, properties to renovations to brand new construction. I knew cap rates at a very young age, courtesy of him. And so I stayed with him for about 8-9 years. And Knight and Real Estate Group was birthed from that opportunity. And then in 2018, we added Knight and Investment Properties. Mm-hmm. And then in 2020, we added Knight and Lending Group. And then in 2023, we've added Knight and Technology.
Okay, so now, I know you're taking us fast, but I want to kind of pinpoint each one, right?
Okay.
So now, because a lot of people now are getting into real estate, right? Mm-hmm. I heard a fact that they said that in Houston alone, mm-hmm. it's more realtors mm-hmm. than actual homes, mm-hmm. right? Which is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. So now, a lot of people are trying to get into real estate, of course, to get money, mm-hmm. but they don't realize the end goal or what the purpose of this is. You're not in this for money. You're in this to, change lives and educate people.
And creating a lifestyle for these people and understanding that when you get into real estate, it's not like a lot of the other service types of industry where you can touch and have that client do repeat business with you 10 times over.
Right.
Real estate is not the case. Most of my clients, I'm only touching them if best 2. No, now I'm at a point now where I can get my clients at least 2 to 3 times, and that's strategic. Get you into your home. Now, if this isn't a forever home, then now we need to make sure, does this become an investment property later on? So now I've touched you 1 time. The second time is, let's move you into your forever home, but let's keep this property over here, whether it's investment or we sell it and we flip it.
I got you.
So now I got you again for another investment side. But that comes with years of experience and also having a brokerage firm like mine that can say I can do everything in-house.
Right.
Most realtors don't understand that, and I actually discourage a lot of them because the statistics that you talk about, well, the flip side of it is, let's talk about how many of those realtors do not make it after the first 2 years.
Yes.
Okay. There's a 78% fail rate. Because what they are used to seeing is, all of these social media or all of these TV shows that give you this illusion that we're out here selling $1 million homes and we're on the yacht sipping champagne, and that is not the case.
Right. I want to talk about that because, you said something that was important, education, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about education when you go to school. I'm talking about education of your craft.
Yep.
Right? A lot of people are not students of their game.
No.
And then, like you said, you kind of corner the market where you hit them on both sides. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you say, okay, well, if I can't get them on this side, at least I can get them on this side.
Right.
Or if I can't get them on this side, I can get them from the front side.
Right.
But now you said I can hit it from both sides.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So where did the education come from? Did you take it upon yourself, or did you have like an attorney buddy, or you had just, what was it? Was it a dream? How did you even start the education?
Well, I think the biggest part is my passion. Like, I coined myself the boss chick of real estate.
Okay.
Because it's not just a moniker. It is I eat, sleep, drink, everything real estate. Right. That's what drives me. I love the process.
Not the money?
No. It's funny because the money comes secondary, but it naturally comes. It naturally comes because of the passion and how I exude that to my clients. Even clients that I'm just having a general conversation about real estate. Right. Even if I tell you, hey, based on what you just said to me, you're not ready right now. But let me tell you how we can get you there. Doesn't mean I'm going to release you. Right. But we got to go through some steps, right? So education for me is staying, abreast of what's happening, not just in my local market, but what's happening nationally, what's happening globally. So there's so many pieces of that I think, again, a lot of realtors just do the basic.
Construction is a male-dominated field. Uh-huh. It's, 98%, if that? Mm-hmm. Dominated field, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you look at...
And it's even shorter when you think about women of color.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're looking at maybe 99.8,
0.12%.
Right. Something like that.
Right.
So what made you even get into that?
Well, I like to see things have a beginning and an end.
Okay.
And because I also, it's funny, while I have a numbers mindset and I'm analytical on a lot of things, I also have a very creative side to me. So I love being able to see something start from nothing and obviously explode into something greater, and seeing how the possibilities and how the chips fall as those things build out. Being grounded and being here in the community and seeing that not just nationwide, but Houston as a whole has a huge shortage on not just affordable housing, but just housing, period.
Well, Houston in itself.
Yeah, like
I don't think they have no affordable housing.
Right.
Not in Houston.
Right, and that's the sad thing, because look how many people are moving to our city on a daily basis.
Yes.
So obviously now there's nothing, no land in the side of the loop. Even going a little further outside the loop. So where is it going? It's going out to Cypress. It's going Katy, Fosha, Crosby.
Don't come to Cypress.
Like, I know, right? We in Cypress. Leave us alone out there, right? So, with that and everything, I think what I looked at was like, okay, where are some ways that we can make an impact? Whether it was affordable housing, whether it's VA, there's a big shortage with that. Whether it's, domestic survivor women and putting their family back in safe environments that they can afford and get back on their feet. So our goal now has been, how do we either buy current properties, renovate them, partner with the city on being able to offer them from an affordable standpoint. We've looked into the tiny home concept. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people will jump on something and ride the wave.
Is that a good investment?
Not here in our area, no. Because for you to get the types of individuals to go into them, you also need to be centrally located somewhere where we don't have any land, where a lot of stuff is centrally located.
Right.
So unless you're going out to Crosby or, your outer areas, well, now you got to deal with utilities being brought in. Now it's on well systems. Don't nobody want a septic tank, out in their backyard. So it's a lot of trying to figure out the best location, but also how's that ROI going to really?
Or if you partner with somebody and they get a development and get like 200 of them out there.
Yeah.
Then it becomes
because now that's master planned.
Right. Okay.
Well, here's where you can start making additional money on a master plan community is the mud side of it.
Right.
So if you own the whole community as well, now you bring in a mud district, and as the developer, if you're smart and you're strategic on negotiating it, well, now you also get a kickback. Now that's generational money.
Right.
Because as long as that community is there and that mud is operating as the developer, I'm going to always get a kickback on every time somebody pays their water, sewer, trash bill.
That's what I was thinking about. And the thing is, I've been big on, I think I spoke about this last time you was up here, I'm big on partnerships. You know what I'm saying? I was telling one of my attorney buddies the other day, I said, would you rather have 10% of a profiting company versus 100% of nothing?
Of nothing.
I
exactly.
Said, it doesn't make sense. A lot of us want ownership, which is fine. Right. But I'd rather own half of a watermelon versus 100% of a grape.
Well, and here's the other thing: ownership comes with so much more responsibility.
Yes, and you don't want
right. When you and it's certain if you're young, great. But when you're at our age and we want to go travel the world, like I'm serious, I'm ready to be this helicopter CEO where I just land, make a few deals, write a few checks or whatever, get back on my helicopter, my plane, and go somewhere else.
Right.
That's the goal.
Right. So let me ask you this. Now, back to that construction question. Are you respected in that field? Because, now, I'm just saying, as a man.
You got some good questions, Adam. Okay, well, you on point.
This is culturally distinct. This is what we do up here. Shout out to culturally distinct. Hey. But no, as a woman of color, right? And then the way you look, sometimes that can be a blessing and a curse. Right? A lot of men say, okay, well, she looks good. She's out here. She got her nails done, got her heels on or whatever. But is she serious?
Right.
So I can't take her serious.
Right.
So respect.
Right.
Does respect play a big role, or have you been disrespected before in a situation?
Yeah, even recently. And then, I had to make some decisions about whether or not I was that particular site supervisor with my general contractor was going to be best for my project. When I interview them now, I come at them at a way very early on that there cannot be anything but respect, first and foremost. Understand that while I may not know 100% of what you know, I got a hell of a mind, and I got common sense for days.
Right.
I know that 1 + 1 is 2 all day long. I don't care how you slice it, right? So starting that relationship out, and I also made my general contractors, when I interviewed them, I made it very clear. If you are going to try to enforce or dominate over me because of you being a male, and part of that could be you not trying to educate me along the way. If I ask you the same thing 10 times over, and I'm the one paying you, you better answer me 10 times over.
Right.
And if you have an issue with also educating me along the way, because my goal is to eventually be my own GC. More importantly, I will go 0 to 100 real fast.
Right.
Like that Aries, that fire in me is real. He said, DeAnna, he said, it ain't got nothing to do with you. He said, that's the character of him.
Yes.
He said, because there's going to be times in this field that it doesn't have anything to do with you being a woman or a woman of color. It's just the character of that individual.
Their personality.
And when I looked at it that way, and I kind of looked at history, so to speak, I'm like,
Because a lot of, if you think about it, and anybody that been around construction, a lot of construction workers do not have a personality.
Oh no,
and they're assholes.
Well, no, he got a personality, but what I realized was,
I want to ask you this: do you, in business, not in relationships, not in friendships, in business, do you like people to challenge you? Okay.
Because I know that's the only way I'm going to learn.
I got you.
Right? But I think there's also a level of respect, and you hit on that, that you could teach me.
So I want to fast forward, because I know you're a woman of many things that you do. You do a lot of stuff, right? From acting to real estate.
I got a new movie coming out too called Perk 30. It's premiering in Dallas on September 23rd, and it'll be released on Tubi and a couple of other streaming sites in October.
Perk 30?
Perk 30.
So,
I play the mother of and the wife of a mafia kingpin.
Oh Lord.
Right on my alley.
Isn't that your real life?
No, that is not my real life. Don't you be putting that shit out there. FBI showing up at my door.
We ain't got nothing to do with that. So, but you forget my question. So look.
You gonna make me sit my drink out.
So, being a person of many things that you do, right? A person that has a lot of cards in the stack and wear a lot of hats, right? You have this podcast I want to talk about, and me, backstory. Me and DeAnna talk all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And I be on it all the time. Like I just
this is a debatable person. Jesus Christ.
All the time. So, podcast, surviving
our
spouses,
right?
Right. Now, first of all,
okay,
what made you get in the podcast space? Then naming the thing.
Okay, so I've been in the podcast space before. I had Boss Up or Shut Up right before the pandemic, and I did that solo. I decided to do with my husband, and being authentic, which is part of the show, or the essence of the show is, last year my husband and I felt like we were kind of starting to go in separate directions, and more so from the business side.
In terms of
business, where I was so geared and focused on my goals and what I wanted to accomplish. And I'm one of those people that I'm not going to drag you along. So you either on this bullet train or you not. And what I noticed is I was doing a lot of things with other business partners or things myself, and I was excluding him, not on purpose, but just because I just move at a little bit faster pace. Right, and focus. And so the end of December, I, went to God and I said, listen, I can't make him be a better husband, but I can make myself be a better wife. So I'm going to need for you to just make me be focused on me. What do I need to do to show up to be a better wife, which I would hope and pray in essence makes him show up and be a better husband. So I pitched it to him. And I said, you know what? In all honesty, you and I went through some struggles last year. And if it wasn't for the fact that we had 20-something years in the game and having kids and have running businesses, it would have been very easy for most couples to throw in the towel and separate or do stuff that would have definitely jeopardized the relationship and the marriage. And so I pitched it to him. He said yes. There was still some trepidation because that's not his space. And so I gradually eased him into it. And now we talked about, I think, like episode 3, where I can tell even on camera, he's coming out of his shell. He's way more engaged with the guests and everything. And I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be where couples could come on and let's stop showing Instagram stuff.
I'm going there
right.
I'm about to go there.
I know, everything is all great and grand, but then your shit falling apart behind the scenes.
And that's a lot to unpack.
Right.
I'm going to unpack some of it, the stuff that I can remember, right? Now, being married, for a long period of time.
How long you been married now?
10 years.
10 years. Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. Shout out to that. My wife is another.
And listen, shout out to the missus that's willing to put up with this Negro over here.
So, but being authentic, right? Right. In a relationship, I think that term is like, it doesn't exist in today's relationships.
Okay.
The reason why I say that, because people get their feelings hurt real easy. Since social media, people got their feelings hurt back in the day, but since it's social media thing and everything is out there and everybody has their opinion, they get their feelings hurt so easy.
Give me an example.
The reason why I asked that question, because I know, and you know this as well as I do, people that come on, especially on the camera, your intention, you and your husband's intention is for people to be 100% authentic and show, their soft side and express and talk. You know that's not the case.
Right.
Because we had a conversation about a couple that I know, but I'm not going to say no names. And I'm like,
that's not them.
I'm like, I know this person. And this
you knew the behind the scenes.
I'm like, come on, man, don't do that for the camera. And that's why I reached out. I'm like, these people not being honest and real, you know what I'm saying? Because I look at honesty and real, sometimes it hurts other people's feelings. Right.
Or it may even hurt your significant others.
Out of love.
Feelings. Though. Right.
I don't mean I don't want to be with you. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't handle that. That's why I wanted to know what was the basis.
Well, and I think with any podcast, even your podcast, you're going to get people that's going to come on. And ultimately, our main goal, too, is to be a great representation of not just ourselves, but our brand as well.
Absolutely.
So, again, we're still only going to go but so far. Because the world, like you said, is so damn judgmental.
Yes.
Not only is the world judgmental, but they've been desensitized. So unless it's over the top, it almost does not even register on anybody's Richter scale.
You got to flip some tables over.
Yeah.
Put somebody
I got to be up in here, be ready to just go ham on you in order for the ratings to go through.
You got to pull a gun out and everything.
Like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
They can't tune into, and a big part of that is because of the attention span. Our attention span is so much shorter than it ever was. So if it's not sensationalized or it's just not over the top, like you said, people quick to turn the dial.
Correct.
And they miss out on the message.
This is
getting real interesting.
I have a theory about that.
What?
That whoever makes the most money is the person who makes the rule.
Why is that?
That's what it is.
Why?
If you're the breadwinner, right, especially with your strong personality, you're the breadwinner. You're not going to dumb it down at the house. Okay. You're going to continue to be you.
Right.
If that man doesn't have a strong personality, he's going to get ran over.
Yeah.
And because you're not going to stop, just by your nature, you're just not going to. It's a woman's nature,
But why does it have to be money and not necessarily just the very core and essence of who that woman is?
Because we put money on a higher level than anything else. I can only speak from my experience. Even when my husband was the breadwinner before we started our businesses and back in North Carolina, I still had this same type of personality and drive, and I still ran our finances. My husband gladly, mainly because we learned early on that his way of managing finances in our books wasn't going to work for me. And the reason why it wasn't going to work for me, and this is the other thing I think about when you know your spouse or you know the type of person you want to commit to. Part of my security in any relationship that I knew I was going to be in was that I would have to have control of the finances, regardless of who made the most money. And out of account that he wanted to buy strippers and all that on the side.
So my husband, so here's the funny thing. We have a joint account.
Okay.
He has his own personal account. Okay. I have my own personal account. But how we make it so that there is no questions or nobody wondering is we have an allowance. So we pay ourselves the same way that our business pays us.
Gotcha.
The first of the month, and the 15th of the month.
That's good.
At that point, whatever you do with your money is on you.
So I want to ask you this. When you look at women that come to you for advice, what are some things that a lot of women come to you for? Because I know, like I said, you do a lot of things, and you spoke about God, and you spoke about praying. What are some things a lot of things that you kind of, I guess, counsel women about?
You know, it's funny, Adam, it's everything. So a lot of times women that don't know me intimately first reach out real estate wise. The other thing is I'm the least judgmental person. Like literally when people come to me, I can tell immediately when they start in a conversation or as the conversation progresses that the first thing they want to say is, I'm so sorry, or I didn't mean to burden you with this. And first thing I say is, I done been there.
Right.
Like, and if I haven't been there, I know somebody that has. So please understand that in order for you to get this off your chest, you're going to have to know this is a safe place.
So do you believe this? I'm gonna give you some Jews before you get out of here.
Okay.
Do you believe that, one, you are what you attract? I'm not saying in the moment, in the subconscious, whatever you are in your subconscious.
Okay.
You spoke about your past, you spoke about your upbringing, and whatever that was, that stays with us.
Right.
Right? So that, whatever that is, that stays with us. So that responds.
Right.
The atmosphere responds to that. And whoever probably had a similar story, lifestyle, background,
Right.
they're attached to that.
Right.
So now, physically, you might not see it, but it's something that pulls you towards that.
But I realized that my upbringing created an environment where I've always been needed.
Okay.
So my mother, being a single mother, I was a latchkey kid at 9 years of age. I was helping to raise 3 other siblings, being the oldest. So even at 9, my environment had already conditioned me to, you are needed.
Gotcha.
And the more I was needed, obviously the more accolades that came with it.
Right.
Now, those weren't big then, being at 9 years old. But now looking back, it was a badge of honor that my mother was, at the time I was like, I'm only 9. Why do I have to be responsible for letting everybody in the house and cooking for everybody and helping everybody with their homework? And literally she would go off to work at 5 in the morning. I was responsible for getting everybody up, getting them dressed, getting them on their bus before I got myself on my bus. On the bus. And then moving with my dad, you know, it was the same situation. And then as I've grown in age, I've even looked at my circle. Like, I'm the go-to.
Right.
I'm the network. I'm the plug. I did a post about this. That's real. That's real talk.
Well, that's man, I don't want to get spiritual, but that's more of purpose.
Right.
So you're operating in your purpose.
That's right.
Right, you started off at a young age. You didn't know what it was. So now, in your 48 years, you stayed on that track, and now you cultivated businesses, friends around that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And how life normally operates, you would never probably be in that situation where you're not wanted.
Right. Isn't that crazy? And you are absolutely right, because I'm like, I just don't even think that's possible.
Right. It's just the way
just the way I move and the way the universe is.
Correct. So I'm kind of similar. Like all my friends, all my family, they're like, okay, Adam has the information, or he knows somebody who has the information, or he can get in contact with them. He's just the person to go to contact somebody else, and he has a good rapport or relationship with these other individuals. And I know that. Right. So, and
does it give you some sense of fulfillment?
Well, I think it's now at my age now, I know that it's beyond me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's like I'm not doing. At first, I was doing it for me because I'm trying to benefit from it, financially. Right. But then I realized, okay, well, the more I give, the more I get back.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to realize that myself.
Yeah.
Because it's not about $1. Like you said earlier, it's not about what you do. It's about fulfilling your passion, and the money going to eventually come.
And it's not just your purpose. It's you having passion about your purpose. Because there's a lot of people out here doing a business because they feel it's their purpose, or they just happen to fall into this industry and they feel they've been successful in it. But there's zero passion.
So I want to do this. I want to, because I know you got to go. You got a lot of shit going on.
I know this has been a good interview. This has been a good interview. Right? Yeah, you redeemed yourself. Because
I was going somewhere. I could go somewhere.
Wait a minute now. So, am I gonna get you and your wife on the Surviving Our Spouses podcast?
So the thing is with my wife, she don't talk publicly.
Yeah, but she probably got some shit to say about you, Adam.
Oh yeah.
When I go out here, I'm getting ready to go meet her officially.
So she
and I heard somebody out there, you lying. I'm going to pull her to the side and we about to have some girl talk.
So I just recently did a podcast.
Okay.
And the sister, she asked me about that.
Okay.
Basically the topic was talking about cheating.
I listened to that. You sent that to me.
So now with the cheating, in my opinion on the cheating, right?
Yeah, because your opinion, I was over there side-eyeing you.
But we agree on the same thing though.
Who is we?
Me and my wife.
Okay, so tell me again, what was your response that your wife agreed to?
My response is, I said that everybody cheats.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
According to my definition.
Everybody cheats. Period. Okay, go ahead.
So according to my definition was basically if you do something with your mate.
Okay.
Right?
That's not cheating?
That's not cheating because your mate knows what you do. You flirt, you exchange numbers, you DM.
Even though biblically, that is still cheating. Let's be clear.
I don't know biblically.
You do know. And you know why you know? Because you and I have talked way too much about the Bible and all of the aspects. So, wait a minute. Well, look, biblically, that is still cheating.
Well, I never really researched the Bible about cheating because in the Bible people had multiple concubines.
That does not mean that God was okaying that.
Look, Solomon was a wise man.
Listen,
he had all of it.
You gonna have to stop all of that shenanigans. I'm listening. Anyway, go back to your topic.
Okay. So my definition is basically anything that you would do in the presence of your mate. Okay. That you wouldn't do. I'm sorry. Let me just make an analogy.
Okay.
If you was out, say you was out with your husband.
Why don't you just give me and the audience a real life situation with you and your wife so we know it's real and authentic?
All right. For instance, if I'm out, if I'm out with my wife and a guy offers her a drink, right, in my presence.
Why would he do that in your presence?
I'm just saying, men do that. When you go to the bathroom, you man go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay, but that ain't in your presence because you don't walk away.
I'm there though.
No,
well, I'm not there.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand that. Go ahead.
So he asked for a drink, buy her a drink. She accepts it, right? And I'd be like, where you get the drink from? Well, the guy brought me the drink. Now that's in my presence. Now outside of my presence, if she does that, that's not cheating. But now. If I'm with her and a guy I walk off and a guy comes to her, asks for a drink, she's like, no, get away from me, blah, blah, blah. But now, outside, I'm not there, and she takes that drink, that considered as cheating. I consider that as cheating.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. You got some kind of sound effects for this one right here. I don't know. Burn, 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 something. I don't know what this is. Hold on. Let me make sure I understand this. So it's not cheating if you're there, you just happen to get up, go to the restroom, and some guy is brave enough. Now, he done seen you obviously go with your wife.
Yes.
You get up, you leave, and he decides to want to slip a drink and send a drink over to your wife.
Yes.
Okay. And she accepts.
Yes.
So you come back from being at the restroom, and now you see a new drink in front of her. Obviously, you ask the question, and she's accepted. That is not cheating.
That's not cheating.
Okay. But you and your wife are not together. Your wife, somebody sends a drink over to your wife and your wife accepts it. That is cheating?
Yes, because you did it outside of my presence. Now, if you would have did it in my presence and I know about it, that's not cheating. I mean, that's
but
not
you
cheating.
didn't really, if you think about what we just said, you didn't honestly know about it initially because you were not present when she made the decision. Hold on. Let's get these words right.
All right.
You left, went to the bathroom. Somebody else tried to slide into your spot with a drink, and your wife it'd been one thing if you said that your wife waited to accept it when you came back from the bathroom and you sat there. But you said that wasn't in your presence.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Right. It's splitting hairs.
Let me make it plain. So y'all in the...
Look, I done drank my drink now.
I gotta Go ahead. Because you're gonna keep combating that. So I'm gonna make it plain. We're in a networking event.
Okay.
And there's multiple people everywhere. Your husband in there, but y'all not together, but y'all around. And a guy comes to you, and he just compliments you a lot.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's so beautiful. Oh, my goodness. I enjoy what you're doing.
Right.
And y'all have this 20-minute conversation.
Right.
And your husband is in the room. And your husband, you can see your husband.
Right.
And this guy is doing this in front of your husband. Your husband is saying, okay, cool, yeah, I understand what's going on. But he doesn't know what the conversation is.
He doesn't know the conversation. Right.
And you're doing that in his presence.
Well, what am I doing, Adam?
I'm saying you're entertaining it.
So wait a minute. So let's just put this into perspective.
Yes.
We're at a networking event. You come up to me.
No, not me.
Well, let's use so that I can understand
right.
where we're going with this.
All right.
You come up to me, and in the process of introducing yourself, and after you do the normal whatever,
right.
and then you start complimenting me on the way I look.
Right.
Right.
I like that dress. The dress you
right.
wear. The dress.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so here's where I think that the difference with certain women would be. If that happened in that type of environment, especially if we're at a networking event, the difference is I would have shut that down.
Okay. Good.
Right.
Perfect. Now,
right.
We on the same page. Now.
Okay.
Now.
Because now we become inappropriate.
Right.
Because now you're going to get Dee.
Now.
You ain't got DeAnna. You got Dee. Because Dee is like, Dee. I'm trying to figure out why you over here having a conversation with me.
Now.
Okay.
Fast forward. You have another networking event, and your husband is nowhere there. Your husband is out of town somewhere, and a good-looking brother come over. Even though you're married, I get it. I'm not saying it's you, but I'm just saying. And he comes over, and he converses with you, and he's like, okay, well, you looking good. Like what you want? You like what you fragrance you got on? And this conversation is lasting longer,
and it ain't business.
And it's not business. You didn't do that.
That's cheating.
That's cheating, and a lot of people do that. If not all.
Yeah. Now I agree with that because I think number one, environment and situation definitely plays a key part.
Yes.
Into what becomes borderline. And now cheating to me also is very loose in what's considered because me and my husband had this conversation not too long ago, and again, being authentic about it, right? He had, and don't use this on no sound big piece. I'm telling you right now, but I want to be authentic with what happens in marriages, right? So I was telling my husband how to be able to post something on social media. He's still really kind of getting into social media, and he pulls up, and I say, okay, well, pull up the post. Let's start doing it. Well, in the process of him pulling it up, his Explorer page shows up, right? Okay. So in his Explorer page, the first thing that I see is there's like 10 posts or 10 potential posts on the Explorer page side, and they damn near half naked women. Okay. So I look at it. We go back. I help him with his post or whatever. Few hours go by, it's on my mind because the first thing I do is I go look at my Explorer page. Okay. Right?
Wait.
I'm like, well, what the hell come up on my Explorer page when you look at it, right? So Instagram's algorithm, the Explorer page is based on what you typically are looking at all the time. Consistently. Yeah. Whether you watching reels or videos your boys done sent you, whatever the case may be, right? Right. What's of interest to you?
Yes.
So I go look at my Explorer page and it's nail designs, it's real estate, it's spiritual comments, it's couples, it's outfits, it's all these things, but it ain't no damn half naked dudes. Okay.
Did you see his phone?
Yeah. So here's the other thing. We're at a point now. No. Oh my God. See, yeah. No. We're at a point now that honestly my husband will give me his phone. And not because I'm looking. He'll actually say, baby, can you just go pull this up and go take a look at it? So we have that type of relationship.
Look for the burner.
Now. But I'm at the point that as a wife, and again, I think this comes later in a relationship. I think it's premature to think, Adam, that it can happen early on. Mm-hmm. But I'm also at a point that I'm so comfortable in who I am as a woman. I'm comfortable in what I bring to the table that I say to my husband, mess up if you want to.
But so you're making my point valid.
Which is?
Everybody cheats, according to my definition.
No, but your definition is so loose, Adam.
But everybody does it. How many people you know?
I didn't feel that was cheating. What I said, I didn't.
I said according to my definition.
Because let's be realistic. How can you even assume that your spouse is cheating when social media is so rampant that even if we're talking about phones that can hear what you're talking about and automatically.
But I didn't say, all right, so I didn't say that cheating was to the detriment of divorcing or separating. I didn't say that. I say, according to my definition,
I'm not saying that either.
Everybody cheats.
Because I think that in
Male and
every
female.
relationship, I will say this, I think that if you are lucky and blessed enough to last several years in any relationship, and you are truly an evolving individual, right? You have your own thoughts, likes, wants, all of that. I think that naturally life is going to put certain situations in front of you that's going to make you either start questioning, is this where I want to be?
Right.
Or who am I? Right.
And most of these dudes are married. They're doing the flirting.
Well, yeah, I believe that too.
Right, that's what I said.
Well, then tell me why y'all married men are out here flirting and buying drinks for women.
Well,
Why are y'all doing that?
I can't speak on that, but
You wait a minute now. Is you just trying to be politically correct?
you never incriminate yourself on camera.
Well, look, you got control of the damn cameras. You get to bleep that out.
So
Why get married?
because you want to
You can't know because you can't have. See, this is it. You cannot play both sides of the road. If you want to lean on, I'm going by my nature. My nature says I'm a hunter.
Right.
My nature says I naturally want to conquer and own something and dominate something. That's cool.
Yeah.
Then play into that side of it and stay single. But I also still believe that God only made Adam and Eve initially. That's it. He didn't make Adam, Eve, Susan.
How you know that?
He didn't.
Yeah.
He did not. You cannot sit here and say that you believe only parts of the Bible
No.
and not believe all of it.
No, I believe in you live a life of discipline. That's how you not. That's how you don't cheat. That's how you don't form infidelity or adultery. Right. Do discipline.
Right.
Consistently, and fasting and praying according to the word. Right. But sometimes you be full of that tequila.
Right.
And that dress is looking nice, and she's smiling.
Well, I think that becomes the real you. So here's my struggle or what I feel happens. And I don't even know if I can say that it's just because whether you're married or not married. I think that a lot of times with individuals, if you have been operating in a space or showing up in the world with a mask on,
Okay.
sometimes there's certain things that can take that mask off. And for a lot of people, it could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it can be the group of people that we're around, it can be in our environment, change of scenery, it could be some triggers that allows us to say, I'm about to take this mask off. This is also case in point why my husband is never allowed to go to the DR, Brazil, Colombia. I don't give a shit. None of them places.
I work in Puerto Rico.
Like I already got the curves. I already look like them women. You don't need none of them women.
Me,
Okay.
nothing like that.
Okay, but let me tell you this. I already know. So my husband can't go to none of them places. But here's the thing. the story or the relationship that you have is pivotal, and it's important because I know some other individuals that have a certain type of lifestyle.
And poly?
Yes.
Okay, now we don't do that.
Okay, well I ain't saying y'all doing that, but I'm just saying you see how extreme that. But and most people won't even consider that extreme. Now I'm fascinated by it. It is not something that I would do because I naturally have a jealous streak.
I can tell that.
I know that about myself,
you're fine.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't sharing my damn husband with nobody else, right? But for other people, I just want to understand. And for me, I think what happens, Adam, is I like the psyche side of it. I just want to understand, why does that make you tick? Like, no judgmental.
Other women?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more of a. I'm Barry about to die on that camera, but so most people that that listen real well, they think real well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand. Most people that don't think at all, they're not going to ask a question or listen.
Okay.
They're just there.
They're just there.
And most men are just there.
There. Okay.
Right? They just see the physical frame.
Okay.
And how it feels.
Okay.
They're not looking at what comes with it. They're not looking at
or the consequences.
Right.
Right.
How she gonna blow up his house?
Right.
Gonna be on social media.
Come on now, speak on that.
So the reason why I don't really be doing that like that because I already know what it comes with.
Right.
She might look good. She might be talking the right
but
game.
Her ass could be crazy as hell. Correct.
She gonna be in the social. She gonna be in the DMs.
Yeah.
Man, once you had one, you had them all.
That is so untrue.
I'm telling you.
First of all, for you to even degrade and put women in a box.
I didn't mean to say like
Wait
that.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Stop.
Aware of that, though. A lot of women not aware of the
and
power
that's
they
the
have.
thing that when you ask me, how do I go about trying to empower women? It's not just from a business standpoint. And it's not to be against their relationship. But it's also to understand what your worth is. Right?
Correct.
And the power of your influence. You have so much power over your husband, your children, and everybody around your network. If they truly believe in who you are, they're seeking and looking for your guidance. They don't want you to steer them wrong.
Right.
They want you to put them on the right path.
Because at the end of the day, they have to make the decision
but
for the family.
Only way that can happen is they're also looking at you as in a position of power and that you know who you are. Like, I know who I am. Like, there's nobody out here that can tell me who DeAnna Green is.
Right.
Period.
I wanted to ask you, you went to Invest Fest, right?
Oh, my God. Don't ask me about the Invest Fest. Because I done had like two drinks.
Thank you.
Don't you ask me about Invest Fest.
I gotta ask you. I gotta ask you that. So you went to Invest Fest, Invest Fest, 2023, right?
Yeah.
This is a place where it's a platform where you have different business entrepreneurs, people from all over the world,
right,
to come to network, mostly black,
right,
to see different people of race and celebrity and that they're doing major things in our community abroad, right? International. What was your take? What was your experience and your take back?
Well, it's funny, Adam, that how you ran it down, because I think first and foremost, the misconception of kind of what you said, although it hit straight home. My idea of what I thought Invest Fest was going to be was the first word, which was invest. Okay. It's crazy because as I was reading the comments after the event and all the people that were disappointed, but there was also people that said, dude, it said fest, which means festival, which means a party. Yeah. Now, for somebody like me that said, I'm investing into this because it's a business expense. Like, I put this on my business credit card. I looked at this as a business transaction. Hotel. Right?
Flight.
Hotel, flight, food, meals, all of that. Yes. I'm writing this off. Yeah. Because in my mind, I'm going down here to hear about opportunities that I can learn about that I already don't know about, and ways to invest. So I also bought my tickets way back in May, June. So the one thing about me is I'm not one to sit on the sidelines and wait for the last minute. And they had a VIP option. Now, general ticket was $250. Yes. VIP was $1,800. Okay. So this is my first time going to this. I'm not getting ready to invest $1,800. Right. Not because I don't have it, but because I don't know what I'm walking into. Correct. Okay. Well, realizing that Friday night was really only about more of a party environment. They had a closed kind of environment. They had some performances that were happening. Ja Rule performed, some other people, whatever. Saturday comes along. We show up right on time, 10 a.m. when the door is supposed to open. Okay. We were in line for 2.5 hours. That was wrapped around the building. Because they had not prepared for that many people. They were promoting 20,000 people showing up. They were not prepared for 20,000 people to show up. I got you. They had literally only 3 lines of security to walk through. Now, this is what was crazy. On Friday night, they had the vendor or exhibitor booth section open up. There was absolutely no security to walk through. We showed up Friday, we went to the spot, we walked through all the exhibitor spaces with absolutely no problem. The day of the conference on Saturday, now all of a sudden we all need to go through security, have our bags checked, all of that. Right. We stayed in line for 2.5 hours. Wow. Now the first event was scheduled at 10 a.m., which was one of the major events that me and the 2 other ladies I went with wanted to see. So by the time, and at this point, I'm in business attire. I'm not coming to play. So I'm not in no sweats, nothing like that. Right. I'm in heels. So you talk about a woman, and there was multiple women that were in 3, 4, 5-inch heels, looking suited and booted, because we had a business conference, 2.5 hours to get through the line. We get through the line. So now at this point, we done missed 2, 3 of the conferences that we wanted to see.
Wow.
We finally get into one of the keynotes. The seats are uncomfortable. We're waiting. We get through. So the first day, they had an app that we had downloaded the day before, which was great. The app was supposed to tell us exactly when everybody went on stage. Here was where I felt they went wrong. They were so keen on trying to have so much variety that they missed the mark.
I got you.
Because if you're somebody that wants to hear P. Diddy speak as a keynote speaker, where the 2 events that were happening that were in a whole different area didn't get the same type of fanfare.
I got what you're saying.
Because everybody's here
trying
to hear
see one person.
Diddy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy. We get there. P. Diddy is 3 hours late. Okay. Now, for everybody else, I don't know. If you okay with CP time in 2023,
right.
more power to you. I'm not okay with CP time. Not only was P. Diddy 3 hours late, which meant that they had to keep sending us reminders of time changes, but when he shows up, he doesn't even offer us an apology for being on time, for being not on time. It's almost like, y'all should just be grateful that I showed up.
Yeah.
And then he gets on, and this is the other thing that bothered me. The women that spoke on the different stages were suited and booted, Adam. When I tell you these women came with outfit, hair laid to the side, makeup done. Our men showed up looking like they were about to go to a Saturday cookout.
They had a jumpsuit on.
I was so disappointed by the fact that this is supposed to be a business event. People have paid good money to come here. Even the co-hosts of the event. Yeah. One showed up with a satin or
pajama suit.
Come on, Adam.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't give a shit who the label maker was.
Right.
And some Air Force Ones that matched it. His co-partner had on some, what I considered basketball shorts and a shirt that obviously showed that he was not in shape because his stomach was leading out of it. Okay? And they were promoting his shoes. I was disappointed about that. I was also disappointed by the fact that P. Diddy showed, or Diddy, whatever he goes by, you could tell that he was so uncomfortable speaking on stage that he had sweat stains.
Oh, under his arms, yeah.
So bad under his arm. That is a sign of you're not comfortable.
Oh, he's probably drunk.
Maybe. And then the other thing I didn't like is he presented this $1 million check.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw this, right?
Yeah.
We were literally in the audience trying to figure out what is that $1 million for, because there were so many stipulations that he mentioned on stage about how that money was going to be used and how the profits would roll back to his nonprofit organization. Right.
So basically he did it, it's like an empty check. Because that was the first question I asked. When I saw that, I was like, he donated $1 million. I said, but
Adam,
for what? What was the $1 million for, and how does it work? When
I tell you, me and my girls, and we not no dummies. We run multiple businesses. The 3 women that were there run multiple businesses. And I'm sitting here like, okay, is this, obviously this is getting over everybody else's head. I don't know. But it ain't getting over my head because it ain't, the math ain't mathing. I would tell them absolutely not. Let me tell you what I found with the audience. I found that if you were looking for motivation, and so that's the difference. And I'm not trying to compare the two because obviously they got 20,000 people. I've never gotten that type of audience. But what I can say is the things that I promote as far as Boss Chicks International is the blueprint. What I was looking for was I wanted their speakers to tell me, where are you investing your money? Where are you making a good return?
Right.
Where is it foolproof? Tell me that, so that I can now go and invest my. Even if you get a kickback, give me a code that ties to you. I don't even give a shit about you getting a code, getting a kickback. I did not walk away with any type of blueprint to take me to my next level with my business. Now, if you looking for people to motivate you and rah-rah you and pat you on the back for what you're doing, by all means go there. But that I'm not at that level.
But you know